Welcome back. You are still watching Flourishing Hub here on Church of Uganda Family TV. I understand the first segment I must have given you the glimpse of what all the habits of successful people. So I really appreciate you for staying on here, basically for this program. Most importantly, you, the young people, because you are our target. So if you are there and you're still younger, you're looking for something to do, you are asking yourself how successful you can be, all that, I hope you now have the right direction because you are tuned in here. So Mr. Habbits Sabit here with me is telling us a number of aspects, a number of habits for successful people, how you can take yourself, things you can do, and also how do you maintain being successful, because it is really one of the biggest aspects. So Mr. Sabit, I want to ask about the aspect of self-discipline in the journey of being successful. First and foremost, what is self-discipline?
Self-discipline, I will use the definition of my favorite author, Brian Tracy. Self-discipline, I think he says it verbatim, is the ability, the art of doing what you ought to do, what you are supposed to do, whether you feel like it or not.
Okay.
Whether you feel like it or not. The habit of a successful person, if I know that my body is the vehicle that is going to help me to do all this, what I want to do, and I am supposed to wake up and go for jogging, but you feel like you still want to have another nap. Self-discipline is waking up, putting on the shoes, and go.
Okay. Without hesitation.
Without hesitation.
Okay.
So self-discipline is doing what you ought to do, whether you feel like it or not. And a successful person has to be consistent. Self-discipline works hand in hand with consistency. And there is no successful person who has never been consistent. And there are very few people who are consistent. That's why there are very few people who are successful.
Okay.
And it's all about self-discipline. There are very few people who are successful because there are very few people who are consistent. Consistency is very hard to achieve. Like I mentioned, walking 200 days on a daily basis without skipping. First of all, you thank God for the gift of life that I never fall sick. I never fell sick during those days. It was amazing that I can walk 200 days without skipping any day. So that's being consistent is very important, and it requires self-discipline.
Self-discipline. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to the question. What is the role of self-discipline in the journey of being successful?
The role of self-discipline is to make sure that if I have a strategy of doing project A, I am on project A. So to be successful, the role of self-discipline to be successful is that I am focused on something, and as entrepreneurs, you are there working and struggling, and someone comes and say, gunda koze sente mu saloon. There is money in the saloon. You leave what you are doing and you head to the saloon. That you know nothing about. You don't know what the challenge is facing. You don't know what is going through to get to make sure that saloon works. You dash the saloon. You become a prostitute of businesses, going here and there, jumping here and there. So self-discipline to be successful, you need to know that I'm going to do this, and I will be consistent on this, and I will put all my focus on that particular thing I'm going to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about now, let's go back to our successful people. How do they deal with failure? How does a successful person deal with failure?
I'm on the journey of being successful, though now I can come to work, whether I feel like going to work or not. Maybe I'm successful. Yeah, though I'm still limited by going to where I want to go, because I'm still building some systems somewhere so that when I go, I find the things are progressing very well. So the question is, what is the question?
What, like, how does
The failure.
failure? How does a successful person deal with
Deal with failure. I have failed many times and I've dealt with failure. Uh, uh, so so much that some failure can actually torture you psychologically, and you feel like, no, I can't, I can't handle this. I have read books and I've seen people, some are my clients, who have gone through a lot. You know, you are up there like in the 20 billion and you go back to zero, you are bankrupt. Of course, I won't mention some on TV, but there are some who have come up, they have come back. To me, I think a successful person should know that a failure is actually an opportunity to learn from that failure, to progress. You know, when you hit the when you hit the ball on the ground, it goes up with a lot of energy. So when you have failed, you know that actually I have hit the ground, now I am going up with a lot of energy. So it helps you. Failure is very important. If you have never failed in life, you are missing a lot. There's a problem. There's a problem. Failure is very important because it trains you to be resilient. It trains you to. I have. There is some tourists. There are some tourists they were, I think, in Ibgind, and one got malaria, and they had to send a chopper to bring to Nakasero Hospital. Malaria. Reason is that they have never suffered from malaria, and they can die. You die. You die. So for us here in Africa, the mosquitoes hit you and you get
hit back.
you hit back. We are always in jams. These kids, they grow up in jams. So it means that you trigger the body to be active, and it knows that. That's how even vaccines are developed. I'm told the vaccine, like this COVID vaccine, actually they brought the COVID itself, they put it and they vaccinate you COVID so that the body knows that there is this, it gets used to it. So you need to get used to failure. If you have never, and by the way, this is very important question, because there are young people. There is a young man. There's a young man whom I know. He stood for head prefect in a certain primary school and lost. And he's, unfortunately, I'm sorry to mention this on TV, but he's on medication of depression. Just failing to be an HP. Wow. You get so yeah. To you parents watching me, if you have got a chance to watch this show as a parent, make sure that you don't make these young people think that life is linear. It is smooth, it's a straight line. Make sure that you teach them that there are always challenges in this world, because young people are getting so depressed, and depression is so high now because people don't like failure now. They don't know how to manage with failure. Yeah. If you want to know how to manage failure, you make sure that you fail. Yeah, fail to make sure that you manage failure. That's why I wrote in my book Young and Flourishing, which you need to get a copy, about daring. Daring. I wrote a chapter about daring. I talked about how I started the butcher, how I started a clinic, how I started this Bibanda for watching football and the movies, and all those died. I failed.
Mm.
I mean that's why maybe these latter organizations are progressing, because I failed in the first instance. So I pity you, the person who is out there who think that you can't fail. Otherwise, you will be mentally affected.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe still in that aspect, when someone fails,
Mm.
how can they gather the confidence of rising up again
Mm.
and maybe be successful? Is it about knowing the goal in your mind, or how can someone build the confidence of getting up again and they continue?
Yeah, you need people.
Mm. Okay.
I talked about relationship. A successful person, has to work with people. You need, like me, and now I know that I have some pillars. My friends, I have my friends. I have friends of mine whom I know. Even if they say this guy did, stole this, or this guy did this, they will come and defend me, or they will come and lift me up. You cannot lift yourself.
Sure.
When you fall down, you don't have that energy. When you fail, you don't have that energy to lift yourself. You need people around you. Yeah? So it means actually, if you are successful, don't be proud. Don't be proud. You can't live alone. You have to live with people. I know I have groups of people. Like if I want 200 million, within 2 hours, I have that. I have that money. Such kind of social network is very important. Is very important. Your network is your net worth. So, how can someone come out? You need people to lift you up. When you fall down, you can't lift yourself up. You need other people to lift you up. And if you are not trustworthy, if you are not if you have betrayed other people. By the way, when you betray other people, you have not betrayed them. You have betrayed yourself, because it will come back to you. Yeah, what goes around comes around. So it means that if you are out there and you borrow money from me and you promise to pay me back, make sure that you pay me back. Mm?
Okay.
You rather borrow from somewhere else and pay me. So that you do what? You gain that trust. Yeah, it will help you when you fail. That you are, because if someone say, this guy, we cannot let this guy to die. But also we need to work on partnerships. We need to have partners. When like an organization, when an organization fails, if you are there alone, you suffer locally. If you are there with other people, you suffer internationally. I know, like you distribute the risks. You distribute the risks. Like we, on a daily basis at Ridgeline, at Young and Flourishing, we face challenges, but because we are partners, you share the challenges and you see how to come up with a solution. But when you are there working alone, there are some people say, me, I cannot work with other people. When you are there alone, when you fail, you feel it is very hard to come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So let's talk about now someone is already successful. How do they balance? Because I remember you did talk about you started giving your family priority. Yeah. So how can someone balance their work at time and also their personal at time? Yes.
I mentioned about focus. Remember?
Yes. Yes.
As you start making money, or you start being successful, you realize actually your personal relationships, your health matters so much, and you just need to work. There are some people who don't know how to delegate. You need to work on delegating your activities, and you only focus on what is most important. Priorities. So I wake up, I list down, I'm supposed to do this and this and this and this. But this one, I'm sending it to this person, this one I'm sending it to this person, this one I'm sending it to this person. So you remain with one thing, or two things that you must must like now I didn't delegate to come to this show because I must
It's a priority.
yeah, because I had to come. So, but I can say I send my staff to go and do this thing, will send this one to go and do this thing. So, learning on how to delegate is very important. That can help you to balance your work and your other personal responsibilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about now network.
But also I think time management.
Oh.
Time management is very important. I have an issue. I have an issue with people. We are supposed to meet at 10. You come at midday. Imagine all that time.
Sure.
By the way, even my clients know that I'm very strict on time management. So time management is very important because I learned it from Robin Sharma's book, The 5 a.m. Club. There's a book called 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. It talks about having putting aside time for total focus. For him, he said 20-20 principle, 20-20-20 principle. But for me, I put 1 hour without touching my phone or answering the phone, without doing anything. Focus on that thing. 1 hour. 1 hour focusing on what you are doing can make you work, can make you do so much that you can do it in 4 hours. Just 1 hour of focus without any interruption. Without any interruption. If you do 3 hours in a day, like I do 1 hour, I go and I check what missed calls, I answer them, I move around, then I go back for 1 hour. Actually, 2 hours are enough for me to do what I am supposed to do in a day.
Okay.
So time management, having putting aside time that because we have a lot of distractions. Social media, people are walking in, what. So if you go somewhere and you focus, actually, may I have realized if I have something I want to work on, I go somewhere in a hotel, I don't come to office. Or I remain at home, I work from home, where I know that I will focus. So sometimes when I don't come to town, people, I know that I will answer this call, I will not answer it. I will have to first focus. But when you go to office, maybe you close yourself inside the office. So there is a way you can balance and make sure that you are productive, and you also have time for yourself and for your family.
Okay. And we talk about the value of networking as well.
Yeah, value of networking. There is nothing that is good than networking. I have learned it, and I'm teaching my children. If there's anything that you need to teach your child, if there's anything that you need to work on, you youth watching me, is networks. Networks are so very important that if you start a business, your networks are the first customers, and they give referrals on your behalf, and those referrals also give other referrals. So you build the company. Now, like I mentioned, it is through networks that I can, if I want 200 million within 2 hours, I can get it. And by the way, I'm not bragging. I can, but there are of course other rich people, the Kwagarana guys. If they want $1 billion, in 1 hour they get it. They want what? It's through networks. You can't work without network. If you think that you are an introvert or what, that's the work on you. You can be an introvert, but you make sure that you get people who understand you, that I behave like this. What they understand, and they become your friends. Yeah, someone who can understand, I can understand that, look, behaves like this, what, but you find you are so close with that guy.
Yes.
And some others will wonder, how do you manage to deal with him? So please make sure that you get networks. But what kind of networks are you getting?
Exactly.
Are those networks bringing negative energy in your life, the first point I mentioned of mindset, are they building you or they are demolishing you? So make sure that you have the right networks and you'll be successful.
Oh, wow. Someone out there wants to be successful in a later time because they are young people that we are talking to. How should they, can I say, tame themselves? That how should they handle themselves in the journey of success?
I think the first thing, there was a friend of mine, he was in Spain, Moses Campurira, he was in Spain for studies and later he went for internship in the USA. So his lecturer, I think went to visit the lecturer, he's a professor, and he found, this is an amazing, he found a young person of 7 years. When the parents came, when the mother came, the mother, he checked in the bag and he was very disappointed that the mother had not bought a book for him to read. So here in Uganda, when a mother comes from work, the child checks in the kavera to see whether they have brought a book. What do they call them? Those crisps, what so that's the, now a 7-year-old person, a 7-year-old boy is very disappointed that the mom had not brought a book.
Wow.
You see how people. Then he told me that those young, they are two. They were two. I don't remember their another age, but they read a book of as far as 600 pages, 500 pages, 300 pages. So the first thing that you young person, if you want to have a successful journey, start a successful journey, is just to read. Read books. If you read books, you will be successful. The second is knowing how to use your time. If you are still young and you are at home, my son now we are negotiating. He normally, when he's in holiday, he washes my car. So he said, "But Daddy, you have been paying me 5,000. Now I put it to 10,000." We negotiated, no, but 10,000. Now what have you added? Now, but now he's washing it better than the last time. So I've added 2,000. I give him 7,000. Yeah. So what value are you bringing even at home? You young person watching, what value are you bringing at home? I'm not saying that you should ask money if you wash utensils. You are supposed to wash utensils. Don't ask money if you sweep the compound. But ask daddy, ask mommy. There's something I want to do to make money. They will guide you. They will guide you. Their parents, they have land outside there. The land is vacant. They say, okay, you go and plant trees. Or you go and put in my trees. You go and put apiary. You do keep beekeeping. You do. So there are many things as a young person that you can do that does not even require your dear involvement. Yeah, I talked about someone whom I gave just 100,000 in Isinjiro. 100,000. She bought these local chickens, local chicks. Now she has a farm of poultry. Out of just 100,000. By the way, I wonder, like this PDM, why they don't work? I just want 100,000 changed someone's life in Isinjiro. Just 100,000. So to me, I think it is like we mentioned, consistent. I think that lady focused on the chicks. It's focused on that 100,000. Focused on the chicks and made sure that my focus is on poultry. Focus is very, very important.
All right, I understand time has kicked us out, unfortunately. So, in just a minute, if you could kindly give us your last remark.
My last remark is that work on your body. Your health is very, very important. Work on your mind. Your mind is very important. Be consistent. It is you, when you are consistent, you are a very rare species that everyone will be looking for you. Be consistent, focus, and by the way, never give up.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. The last one is that outstanding. Never give up. And of course, that's how you'll be able, even when you get those downfalls, make sure you stand up and continue, because that is how you'll be more successful. Well, that is it. It has been very interesting. One key highlight, please do exercise. I'm repeating this. It is not only for people like the Brinkos or whatsoever. Even if you're my size, please make sure you work on that body. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate you for keeping it to Church of Uganda Family TV, specifically Flourishing Hub. And of course, remember, we are powered by Young and Flourishing. Have yourselves a lovely day, but also a lovely weekend ahead.